Welcome back to the DFS Sweatshop. I am your host, the DFS Jerusalem, and you can follow me on Twitter at DFS Jerusalem. Very weird, for lack of a better term, slate of games we saw on tonight. Um, Not a very good night in the Sweatshop. The core four, as we're going to get into in our first segment of the show, was not as good as I initially thought they would be. A ton of stuff went wrong for us tonight in the sweatshop, but that's why we lean on our bankroll management. Uh, we don't play all of it in one night, so we've still got some more left to play. Remember, this is an 82 game season. It's a very long season. It is not a sprint to the finish line. It is a slow walk, as one of the members stated on Twitter. Like I said, tough day in the sweatshop. The cash line was about 280. Did not hit the cash line in any of my five lineups. The closest I got, I'm going to show you my best lineup. 280 was the cash line. 280.75. My best lineup was 280.25, I believe. So did not hit the cash line. Kind of just the core four was not very good for me today. But the beautiful thing about it is, though, I got a lot of tweets from cats who had their own core four and was like, yo, I see yours. I ain't really feeling it. I'm going to do my own thing. And those guys went to the cash line. Some of them went to the 300 club. A lot of them got to the money. That was perfect. That's what this is about. This is not just about me giving you picks, because let's be real about it. You can do the same thing I'm doing. I am no smarter than you. I just found a way that if we streamline our lineup, stick to our core plays, don't let anything take us off of them, then we stand a chance 4 out of 10 slates in our core hits. And when that happens, if we are tournament players or quintuple up players, triple up players, we reap the benefits of those good core performances. So just a case in point, today, I loved Whiteside, really did. I loved Whiteside today. Why did that news even come out? Why even say that? Why even throw us all into a frenzy? Oh, his knee is broken, and then the motherfucker goes out there and 20 points and 35 rebounds. Like, why the fuck? Why would you do that? Why would you even fuck with us like that? Leave us alone. Let us have him in our rosters, and it'll be fine. He had that news had took lineups all over the place. It was a mad scramble. If I had set my got up this morning, set my lineups the way I wanted to, according to my core four plays and stuff that I really liked, uh, and just roll with it, because my core four didn't come out until after some of the news that had been taking place during the day. The core, I'm good. I'm fine. I have Whiteside everywhere. I'm attacking Boston's rebounding like I normally do. I had nowhere to attack Boston's rebound because I wasn't going to start Willie fucking Reed. Then you tell me, oh, Hassan Whiteside is going to be playing. Well, he's got a bum knee. I don't want to drop 8 point X amount of DraftKings salary on a guy with a bum knee. First quarter, he bumps the knee and goes out. And now the guy, Willie Reed, that I didn't want to play in the first place, comes in and wrecks shop. So it was a very weird day. Very weird day in the sweatshop. Very weird day in fantasy in general. But we're going to have these. We're going to have these. This is a part of the game. Now, the late swap is gone. We've got to roll with what we've got. And that's what we're going to do. So let's go ahead and jump into our core four review. Sent out a video earlier today just talking about the four guys that I really liked. And I do this, I give you this model just to provide the checks and balances between you and I, because I want you to trust me. I want you to know that the guys I'm talking about are the guys I'm playing. When I develop a player pool, I pull my core four from that player pool. You may use the same player pool and pull your own core four. That's fine. That's perfect. That's what this is about. But I just want you to see that I am a transparent, regular guy. Just put a lot of time and effort into watching games and studying daily fantasy basketball, and I'm a profitable player. All in all, I am a profitable player, right? So let's first jump into the first play, which is a very decent play. It was John Wall at 8.7K. We needed John Wall to approach 50 DK points. He did just that. He was 28% owned in most GPPs. So we stayed with the field using him. A lot of folks were on John Wall. That game actually had to go into overtime for him to get that. and he didn't score a point until late in the first half. That was weird because he had 23, 26 points at the half, but he had like 6 points at the half. So he didn't score very well. 13 turnovers was the story for him. That took away 6.5 DK points, I believe. So not a very good day protecting the basketball, and we definitely paid for that with him not exceeding that 6x value. Um, Next guy was Kyle Lowry. I caught a lot of shit for Kyle Lowry because everybody thought the game was going to be a blowout. But Kyle Lowry is one of those guys who's so involved in the offense that if the game was going to blow out, he was definitely going to be a part of it. And he had a really good game. 8.1K, 13% owned. A lot of people weren't really on him. He went out and scored 45.5 DraftKings points. Almost 6x value, kind of close, knocking on the door. Not exactly where we wanted him to be. The next two guys, man, Vic Oladipo, man, 6.6K, 10% owned in New York, center stage. He was in position, went out and scored 21.75 DraftKings points. Very bad day for him. And to round out the core four, I liked Markieff Morris. Now you got to remember, I am a tournament player. I take chances. There's 82 games. I take chances with them. Markieff Morris was somebody who I thought was in a really good position, especially how Sacramento has been bad against the power forward position, but this guy just didn't really have a good game. At 5.1K, 8% owned, so he was definitely in position. He scored 19.25 DraftKings points. Not a good day for him. Now, we're going to jump into the feature four players. These are the four most talked about, tweeted about guys in the sweatshop. We all had something great or something bad to say about all of these guys. Let's go ahead and start with the who dat scoring all them points over there player of the night. It definitely goes to Enes Kanter. Dude jumped off the bench and in 27 minutes went ham. 4.3K, very cheap for him. 7% owned. A lot of people weren't on him. He went out and scored 46.5 DK points. Excellent game for Enes Kanter, and I just checked him off as somebody to watch going forward. Brad Beal was the how did I miss that play tonight? How did I miss that? If I've got John Wall, why the fuck am I wasting time with Markieff Morris or even Otto Porter? Why not go Beal somewhere, anywhere? How did I miss that play tonight? I did. At a 6.9K, 17% ownership, Brad Beal went out and scored 47.5 DK points. An excellent game from him. And now the heat check player tonight. This is the guy who just blew it up, who just went out there and did the damn thing. Dude got 7x value at one of the highest salaries on the slate tonight. And that goes to Boogie, man. DeMarcus Cousins had a beast of a game. 10.1K was the price tag on him. He was 29% owned, so a lot of us were on him. He went out and scored 72.5 DraftKings points, right around 7x. Now, when you can get that type of production, from a guy, one salary can get you one of the highest salaries on the slate can get you 7x. You are doing something. That is an excellent play. If you played Boogie, you're probably somewhere near the winner circle. Good job. And now we have come. If I didn't respect you all so much, I would turn my back on this one motherfucker. Because this dude crushed so many lineups. Had a fucking horrible game. Like we said earlier, New York, Madison Square Garden. You've got probably one of the best players in the league to the left of you. You've got nothing but scrubs around you. You're the second scoring option on this team. You go out and you shit yourself. You make yourself that one motherfucker who ruined lineups across the country. I would say that you're dead to me, but you're such a young player that I'm sure you're gonna figure it out. Hopefully sometime this season. So you're not in the dead to me category. You just owe me money. Vic Oladipo, you a motherfucking snowflake with your snowflake ass. I don't even want to spend much time talking about it. Let's go. Now, let us get into my best lineup here on DraftKings. I'm going to go ahead and pull that up for you. Here we are. Now, like I said, finished just under the cash line. Not a great night in the sweatshop at all, but it was a learning tool. So this is my best lineup, and I'm gonna give you. And as you can see, I had this lineup in a lot of spots. In a lot of spots. Let's go ahead and jump into it, man. I'm gonna show you exactly what my thought process was and how I went into it. All right. Now the first thing I wanted to do with this lineup was I wanted to establish a late game hammer, a late night hammer, somebody that I could roster late at night, and he would help get me over the hump if I needed that extra bang when it came to the scoring, right? And so that was Dennis Schroeder. He was the only person that I felt absolutely positively sure was going to see enough run at cheap of enough price point to return value for me, and at 5 point, I believe it was 5.1, 5.5K. He got 38.25 DraftKings points. Very good game from him. Now, this lineup actually had three snowflakes on it. Victor Oladipo, Jeremy Grant, and Trey Lyles were motherfucking snowflakes. King Snowflake here, Victor Oladipo, trashed this lineup. We had John Wall. We talked about him already. 50 DraftKings points from him. Isaiah Thomas, he was only 7% owned in this particular GPP. He had 44.5 DraftKings points. And we also finished this lineup with DeMarcus Cousins at 72.5. Now, what it was, you know how I feel about rostering Russell Westbrook. Even tonight, I mean, he came very close to reaching that 6x value, very close, because he needed to score like 76 or 77 DraftKings, something like that, and he came very close. Uh, but I said, you know what? I want to get the guys that's on his team, because if he does have one of these blow up games, there's a very good chance that some of them are going to have good games. And that was not the case when it came to Vic Oladipo and Jeremy Grant. They both did not have good games. We saw good games from Steven Adams, and also from Enes Kanter, the who that scored on the points over there, player of the night. So Kelly Olynyk was somebody that I had to pivot to once I couldn't afford Cousins at this point. But when the Whiteside news broke, I was like, oh, fuck it. I'm dropping down to Kelly Olynyk, paying up for Boogie. And since Whiteside is out, I think Isaiah Thomas is going to be able to play well too, because now he's driving to the basket and won't get a shot blocked a million times. That was my whole ideas when it came to constructing this lineup, but it was all for naught. This lineup finished below the cash line at 280.25 DraftKings points. Not a very good day for the DFS sweatshop. So I'm just going to pull this up because we are going to have a quick recap of tonight's games. It's only like seven games, so that'll be really quick to recap. And then we're going to jump into the player pricing and the point totals for tomorrow's 6-game slate on DraftKings. So let's get a little more light here. Here we are. Now, we are going to start in Washington, where it was a pretty high-paced game. Both teams got up and down the floor, played fairly decently. We were not disappointed with the overall production of the players in the game. But let's go ahead and start on the Washington side, where we saw a pretty good game from John Wall. We talked about that. Brad Beal was actually the story of the game. He had 31 points, 6 rebounds to go with 3 assists and a block. John Wall in 42 minutes, he had John Wall in 42 minutes, he had 19 points, 8 rebounds, and 11 assists with 3 steals and a block. He definitely flirted with that triple-double. Had to go to overtime to get it, as I stated earlier. Otto Porter in 29 minutes had 15 points to go with 8 boards and 3 steals. Kelly Oubre, man, jumped off of the bench and had a double-double, 10 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals. Pretty nice game from him. You might want to keep an eye on him sometimes going forward. Sometimes the scrubs, man, they get a little extra run, and they definitely make some hay with it. But Markieff Morris, man, a horrible game from him. This dude played 44 minutes. How do you play 44 minutes and score 8 points and grab 5 boards with 4 assists and 1 steal? I think this dude had like 47 turnovers as well. Six. He had 6 turnovers. John Wall had 11 turnovers. Excuse me, not 13. He had 11 turnovers. On the Sacramento side, Rudy Gay, uh, not the showing that you thought you were gonna get when you spent that upwards of 7K for him. He went out and had 18 points to go with 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals with a block. Boogie, man, Boogie got to it. Boogie had an excellent game. 36 points to go with 20 boards, 4 assists, 2 steals, and 1 block. Got the 72.5 DraftKings points. Very nice game from him. He was the only person on the team that kind of showed up. Ty Lawson in 26 minutes had 12 points, 3 assists, and 3 steals, but not too much from anyone else. I'm surprised they stayed in the game as long as they did. How did the game even go in overtime? Well, it was all Boogie, man. He played 40 minutes, led the team in minutes. They've got to get this guy some help. He's a beast. He's just a beast. The next game we're going to get into is going to be the Toronto Raptors at home against the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, this game started out just the way I thought it would. We had some guys shooting hot on the Philadelphia side. The Sergio Rodriguez was getting it in. Bob Cove was popping the J, was going down. He was getting steals. It was a good game. I had Bob Covington in a couple spots till Oladipo fucked it up. But it was just coming together the way I wanted it. Well, then out of nowhere, they just stopped scoring. Philadelphia just stopped scoring. Like after halftime, they just stopped. When they came out of the half, it was over. The game was over. For some reason, the game was over. And then we still saw some of the guys on Toronto's side make value because they stayed on the floor long. But man, this game was over before it was over. It was definitely a blowout, and there was no way for them to come back in this game. So on the Toronto side, DeMarre Carroll had an excellent game for the price he was at, 4.2K. He played 21 minutes, had 10 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, and 2 blocks. Kind of filled it up. Jonas Valanciunas in 22 minutes had 12 points to go with 11 rebounds and 2 blocks. Kyle Lowry, we talked about him, 24 points, 4 rebounds, 8 assists, 1 steal. And DeMar DeRozan had 5 assists, 5 rebounds to go with 14 points, a steal, and a block. Terrence Ross was second on the team in scoring. He jumped off of the bench in the 23 minutes, had 22 points to go with 3 rebounds. Pretty nice game from Terrence Ross. Gerald Henderson, man, I'm glad I got off of him earlier. He did nothing, man. In 16 minutes he played, he had 1 rebound and 2 assists. Bob Covington, man, really solid game from him. He had 20 points to go with 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals in 31 minutes. That was a good game from Bob Covington. Sergio Rodriguez, we talked about him earlier, 11 points to go with 3 rebounds and 7 assists, 2 steals. Nick Stauskas, Sauce, jumped off of the bench and had 11 points, 2 assists for him. And Richaun Holmes, man, he was a very good play. And usually, if you know, you follow the show, I'm on Richaun Holmes most of the time, especially when Embiid is out, because I just like him better than I like Okafor. He's usually cheaper, and to me, he's just a better. He just works harder on the boards and gets those peripheral stats that you want. And he had a pretty good game tonight, almost a double-double. 11 points to go with 9 rebounds, 1 assist, and 2 steals. So remember that going forward. If Joel Embiid is out and the center position is in a plus matchup, you can definitely roll with Richaun Holmes because he'll get minutes and he'll make those minutes worth something. On the the next game we're going to get into is going to be my New York Knicks at the crib, MSG, with the Oklahoma City Thunder coming to town. And let's just start where we need to because what this dude is doing right now is unreal. This dude is officially averaging a triple-double for the season. It's just ridiculous what this dude is doing. In 36 minutes, Russell Westbrook had 27 points, 18 rebounds, and 14 assists to go with 2 steals. Very nice game from him. Steven Adams in 31 minutes had 14 points to go with 10 rebounds. And we talked about Enes Kanter. In his 28 minutes, he had 27 points to go with 10 rebounds and 3 blocks. Horrible game from Vic Oladipo, man. He played 30 minutes and had 8 points to go with 3 rebounds and 4 assists with a steal and a block. And Domantas Sabonis, I don't know why this dude is starting and on this team for that matter. The dude had 5 points to go with 1 rebound in 15 minutes. He's like a play saver. Roberson, he had a pretty decent game. 10 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, and 2 blocks. On the Knicks side of the ball, Kristaps had a pretty decent fantasy outing, not a great real life outing, but he had a pretty good fantasy outing. He had 21 points with 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals with 5 blocks. That's what really kind of saved him, is all of those blocks that he got. I mean, because when you can block shots like that, that's definitely gonna boost that overall DraftKings score. So he had a pretty good game as that was concerned. In 34 minutes, we saw Carmelo grab 8 boards to go with 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. 18 points for him too, so that was a pretty good game from Melo. Could have been a lot better, but Derrick Rose, man, he was the story of this game. D Rose went in, had an excellent game. 30 points to go with 7 rebounds and 4 assists for Derrick Rose. Very nice game from him. Not too much else, man. We saw Courtney Lee for 36 minutes. He had 13 points to go with 3 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 steal. And Joakim Noah, man, he has continued to underwhelm. This is like the 4th game in a row of him not really making value. 2 points to go with 3 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 blocks with a steal. Not a very good game from Joakim Noah. The next game we're going to get into is going to be the Miami Heat. This is the game that had everybody fucked up all day long. We talked about it earlier in the show. Just not knowing where to go, who was going to be starting, who was going to be playing. I mean, there was once word. I mean, we got so far on the Miami bench. We were talking about people that didn't even play. Is Willie Reed going to be in play? But no, he didn't play. Coach's decision. There's guys that weren't even going to play. What do you think about Magruder? Like, that's horrible that we had to even go that deep, and it's their fault for not knowing what they were going to do at Whiteside and then hitting us with the smoke and mirrors later on in the day. So Luke Babbitt did start the game. He had 4 points to go with 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. Not a good game from him. Hassan Whiteside, we talked about him. 25 points to go with 17 boards, 2 assists, and 2 blocks. Goran Dragic, man, who I didn't have anywhere. Didn't have him anywhere. He had 27 points to go with 17 assists, 1 steal, and 2 rebounds. Pretty nice game from him. Josh Richardson, in 28 minutes, had 12 points to go with 4 rebounds and 2 steals. And we also saw 26 minutes of Wayne Ellington. He had 9 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists. On the Boston side of the ball, we had a really nice game from Isaiah Thomas, man. He had 25 points to go with 8 assists, 4 rebounds, and 1 steal. Avery Bradley started off hot, kind of cooled off during the end of the game, had 18 points to go with 6 rebounds and 2 assists. Jay Crowder, 17 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals for him. Pretty nice game from him. Kelly Olynyk was actually the play in this game if you didn't go Isaiah Thomas, because he had 14 points to go with 6 rebounds and 4 assists with 2 blocks in 20 minutes. Nice game from Kelly Olynyk. The next game we're going to get into is another one that kind of threw everybody for a loop, because a lot of people like Mike Conley, myself included. I did like Mike Conley today. And he just stopped playing. Like, he was there. He was doing well. He had 20-something points at the half. And he's like, you know what? I'm just not going to play anymore. And he stopped playing. Thanks, Mike Conley. He just stopped playing. He put on a T-shirt and just sat down. He's like, I'm not playing anymore. So, excuse me. In 20 minutes, he had 14 points to go with 1 rebound, 5 assists, and 2 steals. That is Mike Conley. Marc Gasol, in 32 minutes, had 19 points to go with 8 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 steal. We saw a really good game from Jamie Martin. He had 11 points to go with 12 rebounds. Pretty nice game from him. JaMychal Green, who a lot of people thought that might be a decent play earlier in the day, when we got the news that Zach Randolph wasn't going to be playing again due to that personal issue, he had a stinker, man. 2 points, 5 boards, and 2 assists for him. Tony Allen, not a very good game from him. 9 points, 4 rebounds, 2 steals, and 1 block. On the Charlotte side of the ball, my boy Kemba didn't do very much, and I had a couple shares of him early in the day, but then again, as the Whiteside news broke and I started to do all that shifting and changing around in my lineups, I looked right before a lock and I'm like, yo, I don't have Kemba anywhere, and it was good because he didn't have a really good game. He had 21 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists. Not a great game from Kemba Walker at that upwards of 7K, almost approaching 8K price tag. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, MKG, had a pretty nice game. 14.7 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block for him. Frank Kaminsky, who a lot of people were on, had 12 points to go with 6 rebounds and 3 steals. 3 assists. Cody Zeller, not a great game from him at all. Jeremy Lamb, man, he almost did it again. Dude had 21 points to go with 9 boards, a steal, and a block. Is Jeremy Lamb a thing? Twitter poll. Is Jeremy Lamb a thing? Now, uh, on the next game that we're going to be talking about is the Minnesota Timberwolves at home against the Utah Jazz. Gordon Hayward saw 34 minutes and scored 24 points to go with 5 boards, 2 assists, 2 steals. Nice game from him. We saw Boris Diaw start the game. Why do they do that? Somebody break that down to me. I understand you want to have like the second team be really good, but why not just put the best fucking players on the damn court? Why do you have Boris Diaw out there? Why is Trey Lyles not playing? It's ridiculous. I understand you want to get the second team and have it to where they can give you a jolt and you have like starter caliber talent on the second team, but just put the best damn players on the court. Boris Diaw's a bum. 28 minutes, he had 7 points, 2 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 steals for him. Rudy Gobert, man, he got into it on the rebounding side. He grabbed 17 boards to go with an assist, 3 blocks, and 16 points. And George Hill, man, he's back and he's playing well. 24 points, excuse me, 8 rebounds and 4 assists for him. Really nice game. Trey Lyles, who I kind of liked in this game, had 13 points to go with a rebound, an assist, and a steal. That dude needs to be like starting. If Derek Favors not playing, that dude should be playing. He should definitely be playing more than 20 minutes because he's a better player and he's a young player and he can improve. That's how you ruin the confidence of these young players, when you don't put them on the floor and put them in spots where they can win and allow them to build their confidence. But that's at the end of that rant. On the Minnesota side of the ball, Andrew Wiggins, man, he played 34 points, 34 minutes, had 13 points to go with 2 rebounds and 4 assists. Gorgie Jang started off pretty good, but ended up with 11.6 boards and 4 assists to go with a steal and a block. We saw a pretty decent game from Karl-Anthony Towns, 12 boards to go with 19 rebounds, 12 boards to go with 19 points and a triple one with an assist, a steal, and a block. Zach LaVine was actually the story of this game, man. In 44 minutes, he scored 28 points, grabbed 8 boards, had 8 assists, and a steal, flirted with a triple-double against the Utah Jazz. I don't even think that's ever happened. Somebody got a triple-double on this Utah Jazz team. They play at such a slow pace. It's hard to rack up stats on them. So that was a very impressive performance from Zach LaVine. The next game and the final game on the slate was the Golden State Warriors at home against the Atlanta Hawks. Now this game had like a 220-something point total. It was a quite exorbitant point total, but it ended up being 205 points. A lot of underwhelming play from some of the stars on the Golden State side. Let's jump into the number one. He damn near was a snowflake. Steph Curry, man, in 25 points, he had 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals in 38 minutes. Andre Iguodala jumped off of the bench and had a pretty good game, 12 points to go with 5 boards, 5 assists, and a block. KD was his usual self. He grabbed 14 boards, 25 points, 3 assists, 1 steal, and 2 blocks. And Draymond Green, man, he didn't do much, but he made some big plays down the stretch of the game that allowed Golden State to get out of there with a win. And Klay Thompson, 20 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block for him. On the Atlanta side, we saw a pretty good game from Paul Millsap, 14 and 14 with 3 assists and a steal. Dwight Howard, 16 boards, 14 points, a steal, and a block. And Dennis Schroeder led the team in scoring. He had 24 points to go with 1 rebound, 6 assists, 2 steals, and 1 block. And the takeaway from this is we can target the point guard position against the Golden State Warriors. All right, now that we've had a quick recap of last night's games, let us go ahead and check out the player pricing for tomorrow's 6-game slate. Now, as we can see, the most expensive player on tomorrow's slate is going to be Anthony Davis against the LA Lakers. I like it. He's going to be chalky. A lot of people are going to be on him, me included. We got James Harden against Utah. Tomorrow he'd be a contrarian play because teams see Utah at Utah and automatically fade. But so I don't think that the ownership, I don't think with Harden, with LeBron right there, right under Harden, at 9.7K. I don't think that the ownership is going to be very high on Harden, and that makes me kind of like him because if he can have one of those James Harden games against Utah, you can separate yourself from a lot of people with that. So I think that probably the two most owned guys tomorrow when it comes to the top 5 players, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, from Anthony Davis to Chris Paul, the two most owned guys are going to be LeBron James and Anthony Davis. That's just my first look. Now, Antetokounmpo is going to be playing against Cleveland, and for that reason, I don't like him. James Harden is against Utah. Everybody else is not going to like him. I kind of like that though. I kind of like that for the ownership purposes and the upside that James Harden brings. I kind of like that, and that also sets me up to get another guy in this game because we know James Harden open door defense. Chris Paul at 8.9K against Brooklyn. The only reason why I would even like remotely think about rostering this right here against Chris Paul against Brooklyn is because Brooklyn is at home and teams just play better at home. So I may take a shot on Chris Paul in some lineups. Kawhi Leonard, who I really like against Orlando. We got Blake Griffin at 8.6K, Kawhi at 8.4, Kevin Love at 8.2 against Milwaukee. I like that. We got Kemba at home. Do I have to say anything else? Cool. All right. Andre Drummond, 7.4. I kind of like that in Charlotte. I kind of like Andre Drummond at 7.4K. And it's the worst part about this is probably going to be one of the lowest point totals on the night, but there's so many players in it that I like. And you're going to see as we get into the point totals. George Hill, that price is up 7K. He will dominate Patrick Beverly. I like George Hill tomorrow. I definitely do. I love George Hill tomorrow. Drew Holiday at 6.8. I've got a fond feeling of that. I like that a little bit. LaMarcus Aldridge 6.7. We can go other places, but I do like that play. Nicholas Batum 6.6. I have a good feeling about that. Julius Randle, we got to make sure he's going to be playing tomorrow. He's still questionable. Rudy Gobert against Capella. I don't like that too much. Brook Lopez at 6.4 going up against Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan. Not too sure how I feel about that. Plus, if the game gets out of hand, we're not going to see any Blake Griffin, so I probably won't mess with him at all. DeAndre Jordan at 6.3, that might be nice. He's very cheap. Jordan Clarkson, he's not going to. They're just not going to start a good guy, a good player. They're going to keep on starting Calderon while D'Angelo Russell is out. And I gotta have guys that start, especially against a team like this, like against New Orleans. If Jordan Clarkson starts this game, man, he could have a monstrous game. He can have a heat check game if he starts this game. I hate the way they bring him off of the bench. Let Lou Williams come off of the bench. Let Jordan Clarkson start the game. Nikola Vucevic, I kind of like that against San Antonio. He's gonna be going up against an old, slow, uh, not defensive-minded Paul Gasol. If we don't get popped, I kind of like Nikola Vucevic coming off of that huge game he had last time out where he was benched and then came off of the bench and he came out with a vengeance, had a really nice game. So I kind of like him. Jabari Parker, no, I don't like him at all. Reggie Jackson is questionable. Jeremy Lin is questionable. Clint Capella, I don't want to take that chance. I just don't take that chance of Clint Capella going up against Rudy Gobert. I rather not. We've got Serge Ibaka at 5.9. I don't like that against San Antonio. Derek Favors, of course, is out. Trevor Booker at 5.7. That might be a good play here. Tobias Harris, I like him tomorrow. I really like Tobias Harris tomorrow against the Charlotte Hornets. I like him tomorrow. Lou Williams, no. Evan Fournier, that may be a decent play against San Antonio, but I like Danny Green in this game, and he's a very good defender, so I don't see Evan Fournier really getting off the way he did last time, of course. And good team defense, San Antonio team defense, I don't see him playing lights out. Rodney Hood, we talked about that already. Just have a lineup where you start whoever James Harden is going to be guarding. Just do that. Just do it. Look at the last few games, and you'll see what I'm talking about. You just see what I'm talking about. Trevor Ariza at 5.6K. That might be a decent play. He's going to see Gordon Hayward. Gordon Hayward is a decent defender, but he's the guy that focuses more on scoring the points. So if you want to look to Trevor Ariza and you got James Harden. I don't see a problem with that. Tim Frazier against the Lakers, there may be a decent play at 5.5. Remember, we saw a lot of Tim Frazier and Drew Holiday on the court together. So it doesn't mean that one guy takes the minutes from the other. They can play together. So I do like Tim Frazier tomorrow. Paul Gasol, he might be good in some spots, but I'm not going to have too much Paul Gasol tomorrow. Sean Kilpatrick, now he's not going to be defensed by Chris Paul tomorrow. He's going to see Luke Mbamute probably, or maybe some JJ Redick. If you see JJ Redick, I like him. I like him. But we're not going to know that until the game starts. So I would take a shot on Sean Kilpatrick and maybe a GPP or two. But I do not like Isaiah Whitehead. He's going to be the starter tomorrow. Tristan Thompson, pretty good. I like that 5.2K. He would go well if you are starting LeBron tomorrow. He will go well with that lineup as well. Elfrid Payton, I don't know, thank you. Ish Smith, Eric Gordon, no thank you. KCP, no thank you. He's not one of the ones I like. MKG, I kind of like in the Charlotte game. I do like MKG. He is trending upward. Terrence Jones, you can never know what to expect from Terrence Jones if Anthony Davis is playing. If Anthony Davis is playing, I don't want anything to do with Terrence Jones. JJ Redick, I think that's a pretty decent play. Because he's going to come off of the screens and shoot the threes. I do like him. Cody Zeller might be a decent play tomorrow because we know that centers can get off against Drummond. We know centers can get off against Drummond, and Cody Zeller's not a double guy anyway. He's more of a 14 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, a couple steals, and a block or two. So Ryan Anderson at 4.7K, I don't like that. Jeremy Lamb, he's going to get consideration tomorrow at 4.6. Patrick Beverly, no, I don't like him. Swaggy, no. Larry Nance. If we get news that Julius Randle's gonna be out again, I kind of like Larry Nance. Marcus Morris, I like him tomorrow. I think Marcus Morris can be a decent play. John Lure, Brandon Ingram, I like Brandon Ingram a lot tomorrow too against the New Orleans Pelicans. Bismack Biyombo, not a very good play there. Danny Green, we already talked about him. I like him. Matthew Dellavedova in the revenge game going up against the old team, man. You may want to give him a start anyway, just for the narrative and the fact that Kyrie Irving sucks guarding point guard. So, hey, J.R. Smith, probably a decent play tomorrow. Spencer Hawes, Tony Parker is at 4K flat. We got to see if he's playing. If he is, that might be a decent play. Marco Bellinelli at 3.9. I don't like that. DJ Augustine, if he starts the game, why not? I mean, 3.9K for a starting point guard, that's okay. Greg Monroe at 3.8. Justin Hamilton, Aaron Baines, Luol Deng, no. David Lee, maybe a decent play at 3.8K. The game gets out of hand. David Lee gets some scrub love. Maurice Spates, definitely a scrub love candidate here. The price is up on Jose Calderon, 3.7. I don't like that. Raymond Felton, scrub love. Isaiah Whitehead, he's probably going to be the starting point guard at 3.5. You may want to take a shot on him. You may. Tony Snell, 3.4, no. Ramon Sessions, Channing Frye, Michael Beasley, the coach's son. Yeah, so I tell you, tomorrow's slate is like a puzzle because there's not a lot that I really like. I'm not sure I'm going to be playing a full 10%. Some stuff has to happen throughout the day to kind of knock my socks off. I've got to see some things I really like, and I do see one thing. Kemba's at home, so whenever Kemba's at home, I like to throw my hat into the ring. So let's go ahead and jump into a quick point total review. This is where we look at the teams, we look at the point totals, we look at the point differentials, we see which games we would like to invest the most salary in. We're going to start in Charlotte with the Detroit Pistons traveling there. Charlotte is a home favorite. They are giving up 3 points. This is a 198 point total. Now, while it's probably the lowest point total, or one of the lowest point totals on the slate, 198 is not horrible. It's not horrible. When we get into the 180s, that is cause for concern and completely fading a game. But there's just so many players in this game that I really like that I think that I can find what I'm looking for here. Number one, Kemba's at home. Fire him up. I got Kemba everywhere. I don't give a fuck. Kemba is at home. I love him. Also, in this game, pace is going to be the pace is going to be determined by the best player on the floor. Remember that. In basketball, the pace of the game is always determined by the best player on the floor. And tomorrow, that is going to be Kemba Walker. So the game is going to be up pace. It is. It's going to be up pace. Uh, I like, and because of that, I like Detroit wing players. Guys like Tobias Harris, guys like Marcus Morris. I kind of like those guys tomorrow. I even like Andre Drummond. I like the Detroit front court in this game. I wouldn't go anywhere. I wouldn't go, do too much in the Detroit backcourt, but I like the Detroit front court in this game. Um, and I like the Charlotte backcourt. I like Kemba Walker, of course, and Nick Batum. Also, maybe a little Jeremy Lamb off of the bench. So if I had to go anywhere in this game, on the Detroit side, it will be Detroit front court. On the Charlotte side, it will be Charlotte back court, plus Jeremy Lamb off the bench. The next game we're going to get into is going to be a 217-point total. This is one of the higher point totals on the slate. It is the LA Clippers traveling to Brooklyn to take on the Nets. It's a minus 12.5 in favor of the LA Clippers. They are giving up 12.5 points to the Brooklyn Nets, and that for me screams it screams fade, man. As much as I love Chris Paul and I want to roster him, and I just don't see this game being anything short of a blowout in Brooklyn, and we're not going to see the full allotment of minutes of for Chris Paul or Blake Griffin. We're not going to see him. We're not going to see the full allotment of minutes for Brook Lopez on the other side of the ball either. So I'm thinking at the very most, I like Maurice Spates and I like Jamal Crawford in this game. I'm not rostering anyone from the LA Clippers side that are starters. I'm not. I'm just not doing it. On the Brooklyn side, the only player that I think you could roster with confidence is going to be Sean Kilpatrick, because I think even in a blowout, I mean he's not like a world-changing, world-beating player. Like even in a blowout, I think he still is going to see the run that it would take to exceed the 6x value for his salary. So I like Sean Kilpatrick on the Brooklyn Nets side, and of course, just the bench players for the Clippers. Next game we're gonna get into. Now this game kind of threw me for a loop because I thought that the point differential was gonna be a lot more than this. But the next game is the Cleveland Cavaliers going to Milwaukee to take on the Bucks. Now this is a 212-point total with only a -7 going in favor of the Cleveland Cavaliers. So we've got a home dog alert with the Milwaukee Bucks at the crib only getting 7 points. That's not a lot. And if Vegas is right about this, that means we're going to see some LeBron in the fourth quarter. So I definitely think, based on the Vegas line, the point total, the differential, of course, fire him up. This is the LeBron slate. This is LeBron slate. LeBron's going to be the highest owned player on the slate, just coming off of that triple-double, playing a great game. Over that way, I like LeBron in this game. I think LeBron's going to have an excellent game. I wouldn't be mad if you stack it. If you go Kyrie, LeBron, Love, bam, because you're going to get some value open up throughout the day that's going to justify paying up that much for three guys that are on the same team and that's a heavy favorite. 7 points is a heavy favorite. 7 points is a heavy favorite, but it's not 12.5. The starters can still be on the floor in the fourth quarter if it's a 7-point total. So I do like the Cleveland starters tomorrow. On the Milwaukee side, I think just to add a little fun to it, I think I would start Dellavedova, because honestly, man, these players are human, man, and they play when they want to. When they really want to play, they play. They're all athletes. These are some of the best athletes in the world. They can do just about anything they want to do athletically on the court. And even Matthew Dellavedova, I mean, the dude is a professional basketball player. If he really wants to play well, I think he can, and I think he will against the Cleveland Cavaliers. The price point on him is so low that if he scores 20 DraftKings points, you're good. It didn't hurt you. But if he has one of those amazing stories where, oh, Matthew Dellavedova scored 30 points, then you did awesome. So I think Matthew Dellavedova for the revenge is definitely in play tomorrow. Giannis, I'm still undecided on what I would do with Giannis. I mean, that point total is not the differential is not enough for me to straight fade him. But I mean, he's going to be seeing some pretty good defense. I don't think that the point guard is going to guard him. I don't think Kyrie's not going to guard him. I mean, yeah, they say he's a point guard, but LeBron is going to be on him a lot too. I would say, and we know LeBron is one of the better defenders in the league, one of the best defenders in the league. So do we see that crazy Giannis game? And there's no reason to roster him unless you really feel that Giannis can have one of those Giannis games, one of those crazy games where he scores 70 DraftKings points. If you don't think that that's a possibility, if you don't see that upside, why waste your time with the 9K in salary? So I don't think I'm going to have too much Giannis tomorrow. The next game we're getting to is going to be the LA Lakers traveling to New Orleans to take on the Pelicans. This game is more like it. This is a 217.5 point total with the New Orleans Pelicans giving the Lakers 5 points. Lakers are a scrappy team, man. They're fighting. They're playing well. If we get news that Randall comes back in tomorrow, that makes me like this game that much more, because I'm going to see a full allotment of minutes from Anthony Davis, who I really like tomorrow. I love Anthony Davis tomorrow. I think Tim Frazier is going to be in play. Definitely Jrue Holiday is going to be in play. That's about as far as I'll go on the New Orleans side. As far as the Lakers go, I love Brandon Ingram in this game. I think he's going to be a really good play, especially if Randall is out, because he saw an extended run last time and he had a pretty decent game out. But even if Randall plays, I still like Brandon Ingram. The price really hasn't caught up to him. He's like 4.1K. I think he's going to easily exceed value and get up in the 20s tomorrow. I like him because he is like the resident ball handler a lot of times, because Russell is out and Lou Williams just wants to chuck up jumpers, falling to the ground on one leg, twisting his ankle, still shooting jumpers. So he's one of the more reliable bring the ball up guys on the team, and that is to set up the offense and everything. And I really like Brandon Ingram tomorrow. The next game I'm gonna get into is gonna be the Orlando Magic going to San Antonio. If this game was in Orlando, I would like it a lot better. I would like the Orlando players a lot better because you just defend your home court better. But in San Antonio, man, this is a 196 point total. So we've got 196 points between two teams, and one team is giving up 13.5 points, the biggest point differential on the slate. Anything you do with this game is going to be contrarian, because the smart thing to do is to fade this game altogether. Anybody you start from this game is going to be contrarian, because so many people are going to avoid this game. So for that reason, I could see, maybe a little Vucevic here and there. Maybe he does have a good game, or maybe even some Kawhi Leonard. If you want to get real cute and do some Justin Simmons off of the bench, if you just want to find some scrub love on the San Antonio side. But I think for me, man, I'm just going to stay away from this game. The more I look at this slate, the more I'm thinking just stack. Just stack Cleveland, stack Charlotte, and stack Cleveland, stack Charlotte, stack New Orleans, and just see what's happening. That's what I'm getting. It almost seems like two of these games are not even on the slate, are not even worth it. The Clippers and the Brooklyn Nets game and the Orlando San Antonio game look like they're not even worth the trouble. And I wonder how I'm going to feel when we get to the next game. It is a 202.5 point total with the Utah Jazz at home. They are getting 2 points from the Houston Rockets. The only thing that makes this game appealing for me is the fact that we talked about that in the beginning of the player pricing, grabbing our player pool, is that Harden is playing, man. And whenever Harden is such a great player, man. He does so many awesome things every night, man. He's a great player, and he's matchup proof. Like, I can see this dude like going off against George Hill, just going off against George Hill, against Rodney Hood, just destroying the perimeter and having a great game at a low ownership. And that price is so high on him that I don't think that he's going to be that highly owned. I think a lot of folks are going to avoid him. So I kind of like him tomorrow. I like him. Patrick Beverly, somebody who I do not like against George Hill. George Hill is too big, and Pat Beverly's like a little pesky defender, but George Hill is going to destroy him tomorrow. So I don't like Pat Beverly at all. I do like George Hill, though, in this game on the Utah side of the ball. I really think that we can get a good game from Gordon Hayward against Trevor Ariza. I kind of like Ariza in this game. I think this is a stackable offense. I think the Utah and the Houston game is a stackable game. If you're doing team stacks, I would go Cleveland as a team stack, um, the Clippers as a team stack, and Charlotte as a team stack. But if you're doing game stacks where you want a little bit from both teams, that's definitely what you're looking at when you look at this Houston game, because you can go Rodney Hood and Harden and come out really smelling like a rose. So very weird slate tomorrow. It's gonna take some figuring out, and we're gonna need some value to open up. So be on Twitter, follow all the beat writers you can. If you want to know how to get to the beat writers, just search the team in Twitter, and it'll give you like 4 or 5 people, and you'll see when you go to the link that it's gonna be, it's gonna be guys that write for that team. So do all you can to research, find out what's going on throughout the day, and I'm so glad that you all are supporting the show. If you're watching this, you are supporting the show. But if you would like to support the show further, there's a way you can do that. We've got the DFS Sweatshop swag. If you've joined the 300 club, you hit 300 and you want to rock some DFS Sweatshop swag, you're definitely welcome to do that. You can follow the link. It's going to be in the bottom under this video. You can, if you like, you can definitely hit up my personal PayPal. It is SimmonsMaurice95 at yahoo.com. SimmonsMaurice95 at yahoo.com. You can also go to my YouTube page, and there's a link that says support the show. You are more than welcome to do that. This has been your DFS Jerusalem. Let's go out tomorrow, stick to our cores, have a great game, and remember, the goal in DFS Sweatshop is to always keep it